happy that I was able to go through this program because this is life-changing. I think I did well. I was looking at myself, and because I was doing well, it gave me the courage to continue and actually follow the norms and do it right. As long as you follow the norms, you will not stumble. You will not make mistakes. Just follow the norms. It works. It works for me. I've practiced with different people, my husband, my classmates. I called some people, and I did great. Stuttering is not a disease. It is not a disease at all. You just don't know the proper way to say words. That's it. Well, I get all these negative thoughts that I'm gonna get stuck. So I get tense, and I feel it especially in around my stomach area. I feel it's really tense, and I'm just scared to talk, in most situations. I see, gosh. Okay, this man and young boy are sitting by the beach and talking about saving someone. Okay. I don't know how to explain this. Okay, this man is using this woman.
You have the nerve to call us monsters.
The directions for reconstitution must be read and followed carefully.
Okay. Okay. So tell me what you have read about. No, don't look.
I don't remember. I see a blue car going to the place where the car exploded, and now a man is shooting at some other people. Another man with a brown jacket just shot an older man who was in the car in front of his granddaughter. I practiced talking with my husband, with my in-laws. I made a few mistakes when I was trying to go fast. So it actually works. I noticed that my speech apparatus just kind of relaxes even. It's like so simple. I was amazed. I don't make mistakes even when I'm tense. I was really surprised. Well, my husband said that actually this works because he knows me. He knows that before this program, I was a mess. But now when I use the norms, everything just goes smoothly. So simple. I went to meet my classmates because we were supposed to review around 4. Review for the test and all the quizzes we have during the week. So I got to practice with them because we were asking each other questions about things that we know. So they were actually kind of surprised because usually I talk fast and sometimes they have to stop me. But they actually said that I'm doing very well. So I try to really use the echelon method.
Did you try or did you do it?
I did it. And I also went shopping with my husband for the week because we usually shop on the weekend, get ready for the whole week and cook and stuff. So I got to practice with him too. On the way to the store, while we were there, I just had to do it. I've seen a lot of improvement. I also called people. Even this morning, before I came here, I had to call the daycare to let them know that I will be a little late by dropping my daughter because I have something to do. So usually I can be shaky, especially when I'm sleepy, but I just used the method and it was really great. Just like as long as I use the method, I'm fine. Even though I'm I
Okay,
can be sleepy or angry. As long as I use it, it goes very well.
I have a question. Did we teach you any method?
The proper way of speaking. Whenever
Did
I
it?
use the norm, I mean, everything just goes smoothly, normal. And you know what? My husband also makes mistakes, actually. He's practicing with me too. Yeah, because that's the normal way of speaking. He read the book too. What I learned from the book was just that speaking shouldn't have to involve using some weird techniques. All you have to do is follow the norms. There are a lot of things that were said in the book about not repeating yourself, just continue. And also, it is important to know words. That's why it's important to have a dictionary to know words, know as many words as you can. And also, there's a sequence. Yeah, I remember the sequence from the book that you have to do one thing at a time. And it's the same with speaking, just one word at a time, and everything is good. I was very impressed. Everything in the book made me feel like this program actually is good. It works. That's why I wanted to get into this program. That's why I had to work a little bit just to get the money to get in, even though I was like, oh, it's kind of expensive. But I knew that this was right because it also looked so natural. Everything the book was saying was just teaching you how to speak naturally without any techniques. That's what made me really interested about this whole program.
Would you recommend people read it?
Yes, of course, they should. They should read it. The necessary information to help you to improve your speech. Yes, I recommend you read this book because it will help you to see that stuttering is not a disease. It is not a disease at all. You just don't know the proper way to say words. That's it. My country of birth is Gabon.
It's in Africa, right?
Yes. I was 4 years old. Around 4, I knew I was making mistakes. Later on, I asked my parents why I talked like this. They said it's because I was imitating my older brother who also made mistakes.
Yep.
That's when it started. And since then, I've been trying to hide it because the way I was making mistakes was different from others. For me, it was easy to hide as long as I was calm. But then when I was nervous, that's when people saw the problem and I was just scared and that they would see that and I would feel ashamed.
How did your parents, did they do anything to help you to overcome your difficulties?
No, they didn't do anything because it is actually very hard to find a speech therapist back home.
This is your blessing. You don't know how lucky you are that your parents did not take you to a speech therapist. You were still speaking at home and everywhere else. You still were able to develop your speech.
It started in high school. That's when we started doing presentations and it was a disaster. I remember one time we had a group presentation. When it came my turn to talk, nothing would come out. My classmates were telling me, I mean, it's your turn, talk. I was just there, my mouth open, nothing came out. So I got a 0, but I still passed the class.
This is where the problem is. Today's system of education disables students. It doesn't require them to learn the basic life skills. Speech mastery is not the goal. The system produces and supports stutterers.
I stopped answering questions in class. Sometimes I would just say, I don't know, even though I knew the answer. And I also stopped raising my hand. You know, for example, when the instructor asked a question, I knew the answer most of the time. I would never answer the question. I would never raise my hand. I would never express myself in class. The whole time I was in high school, I was just quiet. And it really affected me because I now I think that is the reason why I don't know how to really express my opinion, because I didn't practice the whole time, like 7 years of high school. I did not practice. So that's why today, sometimes people ask me questions and I'm lost. I have to find ways to quickly come up with something, and I feel stupid when I can't come up with anything right away. I was 18 years old when I came to the US. That's when I started looking for solutions online. I mean, I spent hours on the internet looking for ways to speak. I was looking for speech therapists, who didn't charge too much. I couldn't find any. But
How much did they charge, speech therapists?
they charged a couple hundreds for just 1 hour. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was for 1 hour. And they didn't even tell me how long it would take. So I was asking other people how long it took them. Some people told me years. And I was like, I cannot afford that.
Years with zero result.
Mm-hmm.
Or almost nothing, almost no results, because all they do, they switch to different form of stuttering.
Well, before I came to the Echelon program, I found other techniques that people were talking about online. I tried them, the breathing, you name it, the relaxing the diaphragm, some relaxing herbs, make a tea out of that. Sometimes they actually help to relax my speech muscle, but it's not enough. I was still making mistakes, but making a little less. I found some home remedies for stuttering online. I tried them. There was pepper. I ate pepper with butter, with almonds. I ate parsley. I made a tea out of it. I tried a lot of things. I think the parsley made me stutter more. The next day I went to class and I couldn't say my name anymore. So I gave up. But I had a hard time with life because I had to call people to ask questions for things that I needed. And sometimes I would not do that. I mean, I was depressed. I remember one time my brother wanted me to call someone about something important. I don't remember what that was. So it made me call in front of him. And my older brother intimidates me. So I always make mistakes in front of him. So I called that person and my head was jerking the whole time. Nothing would come out. And I was very ashamed that he was looking at me. It made my life even worse. I did not even want to call people anymore. But sometimes you're forced to because you need some important information. I remember I needed to call the immigration or something. So I had to call them, of course. It went okay. I kept making mistakes because I saw that my phone was acting out or the connection was not good. So I would just let them believe that the connection was not good, that I knew what was going on. So I still finished asking my questions. I got my answers. And then from this point on, I think I started just calling and calling people because I knew it would help me. And I got a little more comfortable with calling. But I still had issues with presentation, performing in front of people. That's my biggest problem. But I can call people.
When people ask me, why do you charge so much? Not everyone can afford. I go, you don't have to come to me. Go and develop your own speech skills. Go do it on your own. It's going to take you some time. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard and long. But you can do it. See, you kept calling and you developed your speaking skills, speaking on the phone. Same thing with everything else. Eventually, you could have learned it. But that eventually could last for years of struggles, years and years of suffering.
Yes. I remember I was in Minnesota. I went there for some of my studies. I was actually a math major there. And actually on campus, they had a little speech clinic. So I went there. I was working with a student whose major is speech something. I don't remember what they call it. I went there. It was very cheap. But the technique they were teaching me was just weird. It didn't work for me. There were a lot of techniques. It was easy onset, and I forgot the other one. But the easy onset didn't make any sense. I tried in front of her, and she told me, go home and practice. I went home. I tried. It didn't make any sense. I just gave up. I've been looking online for solutions, and I found one that works every time. As long as you follow the norms, it just works. I decided to go to this program because I had difficulty speaking in some situations, especially the stressful ones. On a normal day, I could speak easily, but if I was very stressed, nervous, anxious, it was a disaster. I couldn't come up with words. I had to basically force the word out, and my head was jerking in a very weird way. Or sometimes I would just stay my mouth open and the word wouldn't come out. There have been times where I had to just give up. Sometimes I got a 0 for a presentation because I did not want to present. So I just had to take the 0 sometimes. But I was tired of that, and also I had to switch majors many times because some of them required to speak well, communicate effectively, and I could not do that. For example, my first major was mathematics. I was supposed to teach, but I said, no, I cannot stand in front of students and talk like this because, of course, I would be nervous and I would make a lot of mistakes and they would look at me like I'm dumb or something. So I said, no, I refuse to do this. There have been a lot of other things that I switched to, like pharmacy. I gave up pharmacy too, even though I loved it too. But anyway, at some point, I just said, okay, let me just go with one thing and just stick with it and find ways to speak. I just want to express myself. I want to speak my mind and do it with confidence and do it calmly. So now I'm ready to go to class today because today we have a simulation lab. So I know I'm going to do well as long as I follow the norms. And I'm ready for my clinicals. I'm a little nervous, but I will do well because now I have a backup. I have something to help me to talk. I would like to thank you for teaching me the proper way to talk. Now I'm confident I can go outside and speak like a normal person, express myself. So I'm very happy that I was able to go through this program because this is life-changing. So thank you very much for teaching me. Thank you, Romain, too, for me.
Oh, yes, I will.